Let's make 3 custom planner spreads. Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I'm working on 3 custom planner spreads. First, we have a faith-themed spread for Rhonda using some goodies from Illustrated Faith. Then I have a fun new spread for Janet. She wants the quad layout. She said I could choose what I wanted to do, and I wanted to use this Just Bloom sticker book. I've barely used it from Wrong Devo, and I'm excited to dig in. And then sweet Becky requested a memory journal spread using daisies and bright colors. Well, that definitely screams bright type, so that is what I plan to use for hers. I will link everything that I used down in the description box below. Otherwise, I'm going to put you all on fast forward. Let's go. This week's custom planner spreads were all about digging into my stash. Sometimes we get so excited by all of the new things. I am right there with you. I love me a new sticker book, new paper pieces, new ephemera, but we forget we have some great things in our stash. And so for this week, I did reach into my stash, some things that I had already had that have been in my stash for a little bit, starting with these pieces. Rhonda requested some Illustrated Faith pieces, and I happen to have a lot of extra pieces from Summer in the Psalms, one of the most recent studies from Illustrated Faith. They send you so many paper pieces. You can use them many times over, I feel like, for a lot of different projects, not just for your Bible journaling. So I started out with a little bit of stamping. That is certainly something that can be reused over and over again. Did a little bit of stamping, and then I pulled out all of the tickets that I could find that were part of the ephemera pieces. And I decided to go down the middle of the double page layout. I love going down the middle, especially on a faith planner layout, because I feel like it gives you a ton of space to still write, but it makes a really big impression as far as the decorative elements. So with a faith planner layout, you want to leave plenty of room to write. You don't want to take up too much space. There's not really a day where you write less, if you know what I mean. If you're studying your devotional daily, then you need plenty of room to write. So I try to leave those as open as possible, but that means I really have to concentrate my decorative efforts down the middle of the page and then the top left, bottom right. You'll see me do it over and over again. Is it a bit formulaic? Yes, but I think once you find a formula that works, you should stick with it. And that was certainly the case with this particular piece. I just wanted to bring in some big elements. Rhonda is continuing to look for a little bit of inspiration in her faith journal. And I always think that when you have a layout that is decorated and beautiful, it's going to inspire you to go and use that layout more often. I happen to think that's why people got into creative planning in the first place. If your planner looks beautiful, you're much more likely to want to interact with that planner on a regular basis. I also think that that makes a big difference when it comes to faith planning. If you've already been able to take the time to do the decorating, it feels like that sometimes is a big hurdle or a big, I don't know, almost like a reward that entices you to dig into your faith planner a little bit more. So that's why we're decorating this for Rhonda, hoping it helps inspire her. I grabbed some stickers. I put some inspirational words. It's all pretty straightforward. Once I'm happy with all of the decorative pieces, let's add in some black boxes. These are from Mojo Jojo Plans. I love the boxes over here on top of the other boxes. It gives you a place to focus and write the verses that you are studying on that particular day. Whether you're going to write one verse or several verses, you can have them have that focal point with the boxes. And I like bringing them in so that you can layer the ephemera pieces behind them. Once the boxes are in place, the last thing I need to do is go ahead and cut apart the 2 pages and re-punch the holes. I get asked all of the time, what is my favorite hole punch? That would be the We Are Memory Keepers disc punch. It is a way to punch individual holes, but it is a very strong punch that will punch through lots of different materials, including thick cardstock. All right. That is going to bring this faith planner spread to an end. Let me know what you think of Rhonda's faith planner, and let me know what ephemera pieces you have left over from previous devotionals that you are ready to dig into this week. Now for Janet's spread, I dug way back. This sticker book is about a year and a half old from Wrong Wrong Devo, and it has a matching PET tape. And this PET tape is so old that it is actually a glossy PET tape. If you have been following Wrong Wrong for very long, you know that her PET tapes now are a beautiful matte. This is glossy. This is her kind of first release of PET tapes. These are still beautiful and they happen to correspond perfectly with the sticker book. So we are decorating the quad planner layout for Janet, and there's a few different ways you can do the quad planner layout. I'm doing a more formulaic way for this particular spread. That means each little section is going to have a similar layout. You can see I'm putting a floral set at the bottom right-hand corner of each day. Then the next thing I'm going to add is a box for each and every day. The original plan was to have the box in that lower right-hand corner as well, but it really worked out to kind of adjust those as I go. So you can see I was like, it doesn't make sense to have it in the middle. Let's put it to the left of the Wednesday. We're going to adjust, but each box is going to have a floral, each day of the week is going to have a floral and then a box so that Janet can write down what's happening on that particular day. Love how it's coming together. And even though it's formulaic, I still think it makes a beautiful spread. When you are learning to decorate a new layout, which the quad layout is still kind of new for me, I've been using it this summer. I'm getting more used to decorating it, but I think once you find a kind of formula that you like, there's no reason that you have to redo or reinvent the wheel each and every week. Kind of stick with that formula and then start doing small variations. That's how you start to expand your ability to decorate in different ways. Find something you like and then change it ever so slightly. Don't reinvent the wheel every week. Just make small adjustments and then you'll start to build and really kind of define the style that you like. So we're getting all of these moved onto the page. I'm having to trim off the little extra pieces that are hanging over the edge. This is just a beautiful, soft spread. Janet mentioned perhaps using this as her anniversary spread. I think all of the florals definitely kind of scream love and romance and anniversary. I also ended up choosing several phrases that I thought were really indicative of a strong marriage. Nourish to flourish, which I thought was perfect for a celebration of an anniversary. And then great things take time to grow. How lovely of a sentiment is that on your anniversary? I think that is fantastic. I also did stop and smell the roses and choose what helps make your heart bloom. So even though this isn't a super lovey-dovey spread, I still think it's going to be pretty appropriate if Janet ends up wanting to use it for her anniversary spread. All right, I am working along the top now. With this quad layout, there is a lot of room to decorate at the top. And I think you can go a couple of different ways. I think you can bring some washi tape in that section. I'm actually bringing some stickers and, like I said before, some inspirational phrase stickers. And we're just going to nestle those up there. Now, I considered going in and adding bullet points. I felt like this particular sticker was a little much, so we're going to take that out. I decided that bullet points weren't totally necessary. I wanted to leave it a little bit more open so that Janet could decide what would work well for her. But I'm expanding on the little clusters that I'm making by adding in butterflies here and there. This is where I'm breaking with the pattern. Not every single box is going to have a butterfly, but 3 out of 4 boxes on each side will have butterflies. So it kind of gives it a little bit more interest, but the fact that there is not a butterfly in every single box helps break up the pattern. So you don't necessarily, the pattern doesn't jump out at you, but it was a bit formulaic in how I built the spread. I love this book from Wrong Wrong. It's just, guys, it's so great to go back in your stash. I want to challenge you to go find a book, maybe a book that you haven't even used. I think we all have some of those in our stash, or maybe a book that you haven't used in a hot second. Dig it out. Let me know down below, what is the book that you are going to challenge yourself to use this week? I will link the supplies down below. And I don't know if they're in stock, and if they're not, I apologize, but I do think this is a good message to all of us to make sure we are using the stickers that we have loved in the past. Don't forget about them. They still deserve a little attention today. Last but not least, today is a memory planning spread for Becky. Becky likes the dot grid in general for her memory planning spread, and I went with Bright Type. And I had the smaller Bright Type, the Value Pack sticker book, pulled out, but then I remembered that there is a large format sticker book in Bright Type. This is, I think, 2 years old at least, if not more. It is one of my favorite sticker books ever from the Happy Planner. It is full of colorful daisies, which is exactly what Becky asked for. And it has some great inspirational phrases, which I think is wonderful for a general memory keeping spread, for a journaling spread, just some phrases that are going to make you smile. So I started with 2 big phrases in the middle of each page. I am working on sticker guides at the moment. I'll start transferring them over in just a bit. I went with Do What You Love and Good Days Ahead. And then I wanted to build boxes around those so that Janet could either add photos in those boxes or just take moments for journaling. This one's going to end up having a lot of boxes. I went with black boxes because I liked the contrast of the black with the different colors. For most of the boxes, I pulled from Mojo Jojo Plan's dashboard style boxes. And then I also ended up pulling from the same Bright Type Happy Planner sticker books later on to finish off the spread. So I'm starting to transfer things over. I say this all the time. I love using the sticker guides. It is just so helpful, especially when you're working on something like this with the dot grid paper. Just starting from scratch can be super hard. So figuring out where you want everything to go, it's really helpful on the sticker guides, helps you make a plan, and then you can start transferring things over. I never fully complete a spread on the sticker guide. I usually start transferring things over before I'm completely done, but I like doing the finishing touches right here on the top. You'll see me actually bring the sticker guides back in on this spread after I have moved a lot of the elements just to test out where I want some other things to go. So as I move them over, I'm trying to make sure there's a good balance. We followed a kind of formula before. We're going to do the same thing here, where I'm making sure that there's a symmetry and a balance, meaning that when I have the big sticker on the left in the middle, I put the big sticker on the right in the middle. When I have a daisy on the left, I add a daisy to the right. It's very balanced in that way. Even if everything is not perfectly symmetrical, it's just makes it easier to look at from just the eye test, from just making sure that one side isn't heavier or very different from the other side. Now I found these decorative boxes that I really liked and I wanted to add them in. I ended up deciding to cut them in half and use them almost as matte like blocks to add in behind some of these. It's just a little bit more color. I just didn't want to skimp on the color because I knew Becky was looking for a colorful spread and the black and white was looking a little bit stark. It won't be stark in the end, especially if Becky ends up adding photos and or if she decides to write in color, like colorful ink. Becky, if I were you, I would pull some colorful gel pens to do the writing on this particular memory planning spread. Just saying. All right, so we're adding a few of those, pulling up the boxes, adding those behind, and then I ended up deciding to pull even more black boxes. I know it's probably a little bit much, but I'm going to add those in the end. Different phrases, always important for a memory journaling spread. I went with create a happy life, choose happy today, do what makes you happy, and time to celebrate. I think it's a pretty joyous spread and love how it comes together in the end. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for my stash rating custom planner spreads. Let me know what you think. And more importantly, let me know what sticker books you are going to pull out from your stash this week. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. Like I said before, I will link all of the supplies I used down in the description box below. All right, I want to give a huge shout out to all of my Patreon members. We have a fabulous time as a Patreon family. It's a wonderful, crafty, creative community. And if you are looking for a community of people to support and cheer you on in all of your creative endeavors, Patreon is the place to be. You can find out more info by clicking on the link to Patreon down in the description box below. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.